used to think a marriage was like a house. You build it, you maintain it, you live in it. My house looked perfect from the street. Ethan, my husband of 12 years, was a respected cardiac surgeon. I was a successful freelance architectural photographer. We lived in a meticulously restored Victorian in the historic district, a home I had photographed for a design magazine before we even bought it. Our life was a series of beautiful, curated moments, charity galas, weekend trips to Napa, dinner parties with the right people. The first crack wasn't a loud one. It was the silence of his phone face down on the nightstand. It was a new passcode. It was a business trip to a medical conference in Denver that was suddenly extended by 2 days. Complications with the keynote speaker, he'd said, his voice smooth as aged whiskey over the phone. I'd said, of course, do what you need to do. And I'd meant it, because I trusted the foundation of our house. The night he returned from Denver, he was distant. His kisses were polite, landing on my cheek. He smelled different, not of airport and stale coffee, but of a clean, unfamiliar hotel soap and something else, a faint floral perfume. You must be exhausted, I said, my photographer's eye noting the lack of luggage tags, the too crisp fold of the shirts in his suitcase. I am, he sighed, a performance of weariness. It's good to be home. But home was now a crime scene, and I was the only one who knew a crime had been committed. I didn't confront. I observed. My career had taught me that light reveals truth. You just have to know where to shine it. I became a student of my own life. The clue wasn't in his phone, it was too guarded. It was in our shared cloud storage for family photos. A week after Denver, I was uploading pictures and noticed a strange sync folder I'd never seen. Nestverprach. Inside were not photos but scanned receipts. A dinner at the Timberline, a boutique restaurant in Denver for $347.80. Dated the night he claimed to be in all-day lectures. A receipt for 2 tickets to the Denver Museum of Art, and one for a hotel, but not the Marriott where the conference was held. The Patterson, a famously intimate boutique hotel. My hands were cold, but my mind was crystalline. His accomplice was his own arrogance, and his belief that I, the artist, was not a logistical thinker. I hired someone, not a grizzled PI, but a sharp, discreet woman named Simone, who specialized in digital forensics for high-net-worth divorces. Don't touch anything, she advised. Give me access. I'll be a ghost. While Simone worked, I played my part. I planned a spontaneous weekend trip to visit my sister in Seattle. I need the inspiration, I told Ethan, packing my camera bags. He'd hugged me, relief flashing in his eyes so quickly I almost missed it. You deserve a break, he'd said. The house was his. I didn't go to Seattle. I checked into a bland business hotel across town. Simone's first report came that evening. The Nest_Proj folder was linked to a new, secret email account. The receipts were just the beginning. There were emails, intimate and shockingly careless. Her name was Anya. She was an interior designer he'd met through the hospital's renovation project. They'd been seeing each other for 8 months. They had a pet name for our house, the museum. The most devastating find wasn't a love note. It was a PDF, a preliminary floor plan, for a loft apartment in a new downtown development. Anya had drawn it, scrawled in the corner in what I recognized as Ethan's handwriting. Our nest. He wasn't just having an affair. He was building a new home. For 3 days, I sat in that sterile hotel room, watching my life burn down via Simone's secure reports. I felt a terrifying calm. The grief was there, a deep, silent ocean, but on the surface, I was planning that I realized the greatest weapon wasn't the evidence. It was timing. Ethan and Anya were in the delicate phase of planning their future, a future funded by our money, built on the stability of my silence. Simone discovered more. Anya was married too. Her husband, Leo, was a music professor, currently on a semester-long fellowship in Vienna. She told him the Denver trip was a design retreat. They were playing the same game that I now had 2 targets and 2 innocents in the dark, myself and Leo, that I made a decision. I wouldn't just expose them. I would make them the architects of their own exposure. I would gift them the perfect moment to unveil their new life. And then I would change the lighting. I returned home, bright and refreshed from my Seattle trip. I was warmer to Ethan. I asked about his work. I suggested we host a dinner party, a pre-spring celebration. We haven't used the dining room in ages, I said. Let's remind our friends why this house was featured in Architectural Digest. He agreed, warily at first, then with growing enthusiasm. It was the perfect cover for him, a public display of our solid union, behind which he could continue building his nest. I poured myself into the planning. It would be in 2 weeks. The guest list was meticulous. Our closest friends, a few influential colleagues of his, and thanks to a manipulated accidental email forward from the hospital admin list to Anya, I ensured Anya and her husband Leo, who was due back from Vienna the day before, would also be invited. The pretext? Ethan wanted to thank the design team for the hospital wing. It was flimsy, but believable in the world of professional niceties. The 2 weeks were a masterclass in performance. I met Anya for a coffee to discuss the party flowers, playing the oblivious, gracious wife. She was younger, sharp, with the confident ease of someone who believes she's winning. She complimented our house, her eyes cataloging its features. Ethan says you have a great eye, she said. He's too kind, I demurred. It's just a house. A home is harder to build. Meanwhile, Simone worked on the second front. Leo. She crafted a careful, anonymous email to him in Vienna, suggesting he might want to review his wife's recent credit card statements and calendar upon his return. She included no accusations, just a nudge, a seed of doubt. The night before the party, Ethan was in his study. I brought him a whiskey. Nervous about tomorrow? I asked. Just hoping it all goes smoothly, he said, not looking up from his phone, probably texting Anya. It will be unforgettable, I promised. That night I executed the final piece. In my studio, I had a professional-grade wireless projector used for displaying my photography on buildings. I secretly rigged it in the greenhouse, pointing through the French doors into the dining room. It was controlled by a remote in my pocket. The stage was set. The players were in place. The only thing left was the script. The house glowed. Candles flickered, silver shone, laughter bubbled. I wore a simple, stunning black dress. Ethan kept shooting me glances, a mix of pride and confusion. Anya arrived with Leo, a kind-faced man who looked jet-lagged and out of place. I welcomed them warmly. Dinner was served. The conversation flowed. As dessert was being cleared, I stood, tapping my glass gently. Thank you all for coming, I began, my voice clear. Ethan and I so cherish this home, and the friends who fill it with life. Polite smiles. Ethan smiled, assuming this was a toast to our shared fiction. As many of you know, I continued, I'm a photographer. I capture spaces, light, structure. But the most important thing in any frame is often what you don't immediately see. The hidden detail. The story waiting in the shadows. A faint ripple of curiosity. Ethan's smile tightened. Ethan recently inspired me, I said, looking directly at him. He's been working on a new project. A secret passion project, really. He's been so modest about it. I pulled the small remote from my pocket. I thought tonight, with all our dear friends here, would be the perfect time to reveal it, to celebrate his vision. Before he could utter a word, I pressed the button. The wireless projector in the greenhouse flared to life. Onto the white wall of the dining room, in crisp, glaring detail, appeared not a medical diagram, but the first page of the Nest folder. A massive scanned receipt for the timberline filled the wall. The date, the amount for two, glowed for everyone to see. The room fell into a stunned silence. Ethan shot up. What is this? Turn it off. I clicked again. The receipt was replaced by the floor plan for the downtown loft. Our nest scrawled in the corner. In his unmistakable handwriting, gasps. Anya's hand flew to her mouth. Leo stared, his face dawning with horrified comprehension. Click. An intimate email snippet, her name clear, his pet name for our house. Can't wait to leave the museum for good. Click. A selfie of them in Denver smiling, his arm around her. The dining room was a gallery of their betrayal. I had curated their own evidence into an exhibition. Ethan was pale, stammering. This is a misunderstanding. Digital forgery. I looked at Anya. Is it Anya? Or is this the design for your new beginning? Leo stood, his chair scraping loudly. He looked at his wife, then at the projection of the hotel receipt from a night she told him she was at a spa. Without a word, he turned and walked out. Anya scrambled after him, a choked Leo escaping her. The remaining guests sat in mortified, electrified silence. I turned off the projector. The normal room rushed back, now forever altered. I looked at Ethan, the man I'd loved for 12 years, now a stranger crumbling before our friends. The house may look perfect, Ethan, I said, my voice barely above a whisper yet heard by all. But you built your nest in a rotten tree. The divorce papers will be served tomorrow. Don't be here when I get back. I picked up my purse and walked out of the dining room, through the hushed house, and out the front door into the cool night. I didn't look back. I stayed with my sister. The fallout was swift and brutal. Ethan moved out. His professional reputation, while not legally damaged, was socially eviscerated. Anya's marriage ended. The loft was never bought. The divorce was fast. I got the house, not because I wanted it, but because he couldn't afford to fight for it and was desperate to escape the scandal. I sold it 6 months later to a young family. The featured in Architectural Digest line was still in the listing. I hope they fill it with better ghosts. I used part of the money to take a sabbatical. I went to Iceland and photographed raw, empty landscapes. Volcanoes, glaciers, vast black sand beaches. Places where the bones of the earth showed through. There was no pretense there. It was brutally, beautifully honest. I heard through the grapevine that Ethan moved to another city. Anya left the design firm. Sometimes in my new sun-filled loft, nothing like their plans, I think about that night. I didn't get revenge. I developed a negative. I took the hidden image of my life and exposed it to the light, allowing the truth to develop in its own devastating detail. My photography taught me that the most powerful picture isn't the one you stage. It's the one you discover, develop, and have the courage to display. And as for my next chapter, the viewfinder is clear, the focus is sharp, and I am finally the one composing the shot.